Hi everyone and welcome to Sports Watch. UFC 292 is in the books and in the main event it was Aljamain Sterling versus Sugar Sean O'Malley for the bantamweight championship of the world. And the whole world witnessed the beginning of the Sugar Sean era. It was hyped to be one of the most entertaining fights of the night in a rather dull card, and it delivered. Right from the beginning, right from the way they faced off, it was apparent that there was genuine animosity between the two of them. Aljamain Sterling had always neglected Sean O'Malley's skills, and he always stated that if he can get him to the ground, he can submit him. He even predicted a first round TKO, but as soon as the match began, it was clear as daylight that that wasn't going to happen. Sean O'Malley's footwork was the key in this entire match, and Aljo, for the first time, looked unsure of himself. The tip kicks down the middle for Sugar Sean O'Malley was a huge difference, and Aljo couldn't find him. He couldn't grapple him. In the first round, it was extremely competitive, and at the very end, Aljamain managed to take him to the back of the octagon and somehow managed to scramble and win the round. It was a huge victory for Sugar Sean because he didn't allow Aljamain to take him down and hold him there. It was his only chance of victory against Sean O'Malley. He can never stand up with Sugar because Sean is the better striker. In the second round, Aljo became more desperate to get the takedown. When the round began, O'Malley slipped and Aljo quickly latched onto him, but O'Malley did a good job by being able to break out of that lock and again maintain everything on this ground, on the standing position. And what followed was one of the most beautiful knockouts in the bantamweight history. Aljo reached in and Sean countered with a beautiful straight right hand. Aljo was down the mat and Sugar Sean O'Malley landed some huge blows up top. There are arguments that the fight could have continued a little bit, but there was little doubt what the end result would have been. Sean O'Malley is the new UFC bantamweight champion, is also the new star in the UFC right now. Aljamain Sterling, after all the trash talk, was a bit too emotional for me, and it cost him. In the co-main event, we had Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos for the 115-pound title. And it was a complete mismatch. Weili beat Lemos as if she owed money from him. Right from the beginning, it was Zhang all over her. She took her down, mounted her, landed some heavy ground and pound. Lemos did get her in a darts in the end of the round, but it wasn't going to do any harm to her because Weili is very strong. He was very strong. She's improving every single day of the week, and the UFC must stop making matches like this, which are hardly competitive. And it was a one-sided whooping from Zhang Weili. Every time Zhang steps into the octagon, we see a new version of her. Every time she's showing something else. She's the most entertaining fighter in that division right now and a very dominant champion. She landed over 281 strikes compared to her opponent's only 20 or something. It was the highest strike differential in UFC history. It was a non-competitive fight. The only reason Amanda Lemos couldn't be finished was just because she had the ability to absorb huge punishment. In the fifth round, Weili actually dropped her and then went all in and started landing bombs on her. But it was only the heart of Ramos that prevented her from getting submitted. Now, what is next for Weili? That's the big question. She's the only dominant champion. She has beaten all her challenges. Maybe UFC comes up with a great opponent that actually challenger. Maybe a rematch with Rose Rama Yunus down the line can take place. But it was a great night of fights, two amazing title fights, and two dominant performances from two relatively new prospects in the UFC. Let me know in the comment section what you feel, and if you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel.